Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
$610,000? Does sister wives Kody Brown resent his Coyote Pass payout to Janelle and Mary? Did they pressure him into redividing the land before it was sold? Sister wives star Kody Brown recently sold the Brown family's Coyote Pass land for a whopping $1.5 million, and before he did that, he decided to give his ex-wives Janelle and Mary Brown bigger shares of the Arizona land, which meant that each received $305,000. In other words, he basically gave away $610,000. When he made that sacrifice, Kody seemed like the perfect gentleman. The thing is, Kody might have felt intense pressure to relinquish his 97% ownership of the land. Kody used to make fun of the women who had to put up with him for so long and watched him fall in love with another woman. He derisively described them as entitled princesses. That rude remark is just the tip of the iceberg, and Janelle, Mary, and Christine Brown are good women. They waited decades before bailing out. They were really trying to make things work. In return, they were accused of parental alienation after their splits. So, how does a man who does that turn into a Disney prince, bestowing favors on hard-up Cinderella Janelle and the always overlooked Mary? Possibly, he didn't change at all. Kody is turning on a dime. Kody seemed to resent the women who'd gone through so much of his life journey with him, and then left him only because he loved someone else. On the surface of things, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Kody pushed them away and then seemed to complain about them. How is that logical? However, he has his own take on things, and his belief is that these women punished him for falling in love with Robin. There may be a grain of truth to this. Back in the old days, the plural marriage seemed less dysfunctional. It was often centered around the children, which made it seem sweet, homespun, and emotionally satisfying. The kids got love from an array of moms, and the family's patriarch loved them too. They did fun activities as a group, and lived together. However, the days of sledding and pumpkin carving weren't fated to last. The bad blood bubbling up from underneath began to poison the dynamic, hurting Kody, the women, and the children. The now exes couldn't stay the same. Human nature always rears its head. It can't be kept down. While women in polygamy are conditioned to accept a state of silent suffering when they feel very human emotions like jealousy and anger, after decades, it was impossible for the women to really repress all of those feelings. As per Mormonism Research Ministry, sacred loneliness is about women enduring solitude while in plural marriage. Even now that Robin is in a monogamous relationship, she and Kody are fighting, as seen in the clip above. It's hard enough to make it work with one person, much less four people. Kody gets all the blame, but imagine how hard it would be. Whatever goes wrong is going to be considered his fault. That creates so much pressure. He's the family's leader, and falling in love with Robin wasn't his fault. The family has been through the ringer, including Kody. He gets the villain edit every single time. People don't really give him a fair hearing, but he has feelings too. Christine felt unloved, longing for passion her husband couldn't provide. Christine found it with David Woolley, who's now her husband. Janelle had the same desires, wanting a real husband, at least some of the time. Mary, cast out after an unfortunate catfishing scandal, was lowest on the totem pole, unable to get Kody's friendship, much less his ardor. It was a mess, a truly emotionally damaging situation that left three wives feeling like satellites orbiting around Kody and Robin, who were on their own planet. In their world, there was a core family: Robin, Kody, and their children. Everything else seemed to come second. During the pandemic, the pressures on the family reached critical mass. It was just impossible for the Browns to live as they had before, with Kody visiting his non-Robin wives. He was too afraid of contracting the COVID-19 virus. As a result, there was a wider gap between the core family and the others. The Brown parents are changing. It's easy to be petty about reality stars, but after decades, Janelle, Mary, and Christine poured a lot of love, time, and energy into the family, which caused a lot of pain when things ended. They had swallowed their pride a million times, trying to make a man who was in love with someone else pay attention to them. That is degrading. However, all believed in plural marriage, and had to re-examine their beliefs in order to free their minds. Above, Janelle focuses on what's working, rather than Kody, definitely moving in the right direction. As people get older, they change, and that's a factor here too. Everyone wants peace and happiness, so the fighting gets old. They say that in midlife, a new attitude about ego emerges, and a person is just different. They see the big picture and want to make the most of their remaining time by getting along with others and having a great time. There's less focus on things that used to be important, but no longer are. In a sense, the midlife crisis and its aftermath also destroyed the Brown family. In midlife crisis, the person lashes out, longing for youth that is gone. They may regress a bit. When that ends, there's a period when a person starts looking at their life with a pitiless lens, under very harsh light. They think about what they want for the future. Do they really need to hold on to the same values? All the Brown parents, Kody, Janelle, Robin and Christine, are older now, and wiser. They have lived and lost. They've fought so many battles. The war over Coyote Pass is now over. Garrison Brown has died. These life events have shaped everyone, changing them from the inside out. And so, people are going their own ways, or trying to. Each part of the fractured Brown family is on a journey. The journeys are no longer the same. Kody may not have sold Coyote Pass because he wanted to please his exes and make their lives easier. He may have done it because they threatened to take him to court. However, it wasn't really wrong of those women to believe that they deserved more than the pittance that they would have gotten had he retained his full 97% ownership. They paid into the family too. Kody may have awakened to this, to the inherent unfairness of him owning so much, while they owned so little, when he was the one controlling the money. All of this is quite sticky morally. Yes, he used his money to buy the lion's share, but then again, his wives couldn't freely spend the family money. As the man of the house, Kody made the decisions. This is where the issue of fairness comes in. Now, except for the fact that Christine didn't get a share, fairness is restored, but that doesn't mean that the sister-wives star Kody is at peace with his relationships with his exes. In fact, there's probably more drama to come. Sister Wives, Janelle Brown won't be in another season of the show? She might be leaving TLC, as shown here. Sister Wives has been going on for 15 years. Over the years, we have seen the Brown family go through a lot. Originally, Kody had 3 wives, Janelle, Mary, and Christine, and 13 children. In 2010, he got married to his 4th wife, Robin, and adopted her 3 kids. The couple later had 2 kids. Fans have witnessed the family's disintegration due to their differences, leaving Kody with only his one wife, Robin. Janelle had a lot on her plate. Firstly, she had to deal with Kody's tantrums, and now that she is finally out of the toxic relationship. Earlier, last year, an emotional bulldozer hit her. Janelle's son, Garrison, took his own life. Janelle felt devastated after receiving the news and struggled to figure out what to do next. In order to remain close to her daughter Maddie and her son-in-law Caleb, she relocated to North Carolina. However, certain murmurs suggest that Janelle may soon leave Sister Wives. Sister Wives, Janelle Brown reveals she could sense Garrison was not okay. Janelle's son, Garrison, took his own life at the mere age of 25. In an episode of Sister Wives, she revealed that she knew his son was suffering from anxiety and depression. They used to talk thrice a day, but suddenly, he was not responding. So, she asked her sons to check on him. She knew he was struggling with alcohol issues. But he would drink and pass out. She has no idea what went wrong that night. Janelle knew he was drinking that day, so she thought he was going through a phase. Sister Wives, is Janelle planning to leave the show? Janelle has been part of Sister Wives for the past 15 years. We have seen several ups and downs in her life. From her separating from Kody to the devastating news of Garrison's death, we have seen it all. While she is a fan favorite, it's also understandable if she wants to part ways from the show after such a long commitment. Certain narratives are going around that signal towards Janelle's firm decision to leave Sister Wives. In season 19, we got to see Janelle in a new light. Ever since she moved to North Carolina, she has been concentrating on her farm business. She fought for the Coyote Pass property, but now that the issue is resolved, she can finally cut ties with Kody. It also means that she now has no obligations to be a part of the show. In the recent episode, she also spoke about her battle with Garrison's death. It's clear that Janelle is struggling with her inner turmoil. On the other hand, she has also accepted that now her kids are her first priority. She is also not actively looking for love and has shifted base to North Carolina. The crew now faces greater challenges in shooting across 4 different locations since all the wives are scattered. Moreover, Janelle now pursues a vigorous career. She concentrates on her farm business and wants to give it her all. So, there is a huge possibility that she may leave sister wives to focus on her personal life. Moreover, her kids are also not interested in the show, so if she chooses to continue, that's going to be an issue. The sale of the Brown family's Coyote Pass property for $1.5 million made headlines across the reality TV world, not only for the impressive payout but also for the way it revealed new tensions, regrets, and power plays among the sister wives cast. At the center of this lucrative land deal is Kody Brown, the patriarch of the once unified polygamous Brown family. While it may appear on the surface that Kody graciously handed over $610,000 worth of land equity to his ex-wives Janelle Brown and Mary Brown, a deeper dive into the family's fractured dynamics suggests that the story is far more complex. Kody's decision to give Janelle and Mary larger shares of the land he once held 97% ownership of may look noble on paper. However, it raises a key question: was he forced into this redistribution under pressure? And now that the property has been sold, does Kody resent giving away over $500,000 to 2 women he no longer shares romantic ties with? Let's break down the land deal, the emotional fallout, and the context that may have shaped one of the most pivotal financial decisions in sister wives history. The Coyote Pass dream turns into a nightmare. When the Browns purchased the sprawling Coyote Pass property in Flagstaff, Arizona, it was supposed to be the start of a new era. The family envisioned building homes next to each other while maintaining their close-knit dynamic. But what began as a hopeful investment ended in bitter separation, with broken dreams and broken bonds littered across the land like tumbleweeds. In the early days, Kody made it clear he had a dominant financial stake in the land. Most of the lots were under his name, and Robin, his favored wife, was often viewed as the queen of the new kingdom. Meanwhile, Janelle, Mary, and Christine were gradually pushed to the fringes, not just emotionally, but physically. Christine eventually walked away without a share, choosing instead to start a new life in Utah with her now husband David Woolley. But Janelle and Mary, who had both been financially and emotionally entangled in the Flagstaff chapter of the Brown saga, weren't so quick to let go. As tensions rose and the family disintegrated, the idea of dividing the land fairly became a necessity, and perhaps a battleground. The $610,000 question: why did Kody relinquish his stake? The final sale of the property brought a hefty payday, but it also raised eyebrows. Kody giving $305,000 each to Janelle and Mary isn't a small gesture, it's a dramatic reversal from the earlier state of ownership, where he held most of the cards. So why did he do it? The narrative spun by TLC, and perhaps encouraged by Kody himself, paints a picture of a generous, mature man who, despite past differences, wanted to do the right thing. But viewers who've watched Sister Wives evolve know better. Kody rarely gives without a fight. There's mounting speculation that Kody's generosity was less about goodwill and more about pressure. While legal threats haven't been publicly confirmed, it's easy to imagine that Mary and Janelle, who had both invested time, money, and hope into Coyote Pass, had leverage. With the show's timeline showing Janelle in particular camping on the land and publicly declaring it was her future, the optics of denying her a fair share would have been disastrous, both legally and reputationally. It's possible Kody was backed into a corner, with the looming threat of litigation or public backlash forcing him to redivide the land in a more equitable way. Kody's past resentments resurface. Kody has long struggled with resentment, particularly toward the wives who dared to step outside his orbit. After decades of complex emotional and financial entanglement, He had little grace left for Janelle, Mary, or Christine. He's called them princesses who were too entitled. He's accused them of parental alienation. He's painted himself as the victim in a scenario where he, the man who pursued a new life with Robin, was somehow betrayed. So now we ask again, is it likely that Kody gave away $610,000 in equity without feeling